Okay, so board and batten shutters. So we're going to do board and batten shutters. This is your batten, and then your boards. Your boards are going to run vertically. Your battens are going to run horizontally. We came up with a pretty simple way to put this together quickly using a jig. Now, some of you have better ideas, and that's great. Do a video and show us how to do it. But this is the way we're doing it, and we're going pretty quick. We have about 30 shutters to build. So I'm going to show you how to do that. The first thing you want to do after you lay out all your boards, your very first one, is we're going to make a jig for all of them. So once we get this laid out, what we can do is take a piece of plywood like this here. I'm going to put it up here like that. And then I'm going to take another board and put it up here like that. And we can draw a line, and then we're going to rip that piece, this dimension, and that is shown right here. Okay, so this essentially is, it's 1.5 inches because we have a 3/4 inch board, we have a 3/4 inch batten, but just in case you have 5/4 or something's a little different, it's just it's real helpful to do it like that. Okay, this is not here, you know, because we already built it, but I just want to show you how we arrive. Draw your line, and now you know what we have to rip. Once you do that, we rip that, we can take this off, and we can glue and nail this together so that it ends up like that. There's your jig. Very simple. We're going to build the whole thing using that jig. So what Jessie's going to do is she's going to take this board, and you can put it like that. I mean, she's going to push it like that. She's going to push it up against there, and then grab that mallet, and then she can go ahead and tap that, right? And then this will keep it down. And then we make sure that both, now we have all of our ends the same, right? So it's nice and square up and straight. The next thing we're going to do is glue this, the batten. Okay, it's also helpful to use a clamp. All our edges are nice and squared up, so I'm going to use a little extra glue here. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put this on here. Again, we're going to double check, make sure that we're all squared up. Now I'm going to go ahead and put a clamp on here. I probably should have done this first, but right, that'll just hold it together and take up any gaps. You could put a gap in here. Some people like an 1/8 of an inch gap, but this will shrink up anyway. So it's a #1 grade material, so it's not going to shrink a lot. But the customer didn't want a gap in here, so we're just going to butt it up tight. No glue joint. We're just going to let it breathe. And then I'm just going to take a finish nailer and pop some nails on this side real quick. And I'm going to go diagonal pattern, crossing over every joint, right? Got to hold every board firmly in place. And we'll flip it over, we'll do this side. You see how quick this is. Let me get the other batten. Okay, put some glue on inside glue, honey. So we got glue. I should also mention that the dimension of the jig is determined by, oh, that's the wrong one. There it is. Sorry, my bad. That's what happens. This is the one. That's what happens when you're in a rush. All right. No big deal. I'm going to build the other one quick anyway. So we're going to go ahead and glue this one up. I started to mention that this dimension is determined by what you want, what distance you want here, right? In our case, it's 5 inches. We wanted 5 inches from the edge to the batten, so we ripped this at 5 inches. Now they're all going to be the same, and that's for every shutter. If you had different dimensions, you would do different jigs, but all of our shutters are going to have that 5-inch reveal. All right, so now I'm just going to tack this down. And there's a reason why I'm doing it. You know, typically on a batten construction, you would put screws in here, but we're gonna put screws in the underside because this is the side that's going to be exposed on the house, right? So when it's you're going to see that with the strap hinges, and so we don't want to have screws in here. We're going to put them on this side, And we can continue to use this jig. Jesse will go ahead and do that pencil. All right, sorry about that. We actually found the pencil. It was under my table. All right, so you put this on here. We're going to draw a line. Okay, we're going to take our batten. Over here, we're going to put that here. We're going to draw a line because now I can see the dimension that's underneath, right? So then we come over here, draw a line, batten, draw a line with the pencil, we sand it off. And then when we put our screws in, we're going to follow the same pattern of 2 on the end, right? We're going to sink it in. And then we're going to follow that same diagonal. I'm going to put one in diagonal on this side, on this board. Right, we want to catch every board, so we're just going to continue on the diagonal. I'm going to go down here on either side of that line. Here. Don't need a pilot hole, just sink them in. And then here. So essentially, you're going to have 2 screws in every board just on a diagonal. Jesse's winning. Jesse's beating me. All right. I'm going to taught you a thing or two. And then you can see how quickly we can put these together using that jig. Otherwise, we'd be trying to use a square and a straight edge and trying to measure all these up, but I'm sure somebody's going to improve on that if they haven't already. But I just wanted to show you how we're doing it because I think it might be helpful. I know it was helpful for us. And then you've got your shutter. These are large shutters. The shutter without any screw holes, and it's perfectly squared up and laid out. It's all dimensionally uniform. So anyway, hope it helps.